Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. It's good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Today is July 1st. We are in the middle of summer. July 1st, 2024, 6:36 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all so much for joining me. We really do appreciate your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have been gone all day. I had to take my mother-in-law to get her 6-month mammogram today, and I had to leave super early this morning, and we were gone all day. So I tried to work on some stuff here the last couple hours, doing my best. So we'll see if we can get through it. Thank you all. It's good to see you all in chat. Before we get started, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, it's a free way to help. It gets the word out. We need as many people to see these children's faces everywhere. And of course, you can share it. These are two free ways to make a big impact. All it takes is one person to break a case wide open. And of course, we were live into the wee hours last night as well. Great live last night with Cher, Mark, Spirit Seeker, Brittany, John, and help me with the Trish. Is it Trish? I think it's Trish. It was a really good last night. Really good panel. John is having a live at 8:30 this evening. I believe it's still up. So make sure you guys head over there at 8:30 p.m. this evening. I don't know if he's going to invite any of us up, but if he does, we'll pop up. And if not, we'll be there in the chat to give him support. John is a really, really good guy. And of course, yeah, we'll be there to support him. Rosa, thank you so much for becoming a pearl, my dear. Pearls look amazing on you. They really do. Look beautiful. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate the support, Rosa. Thank you so much. And Kelly K, thank you so much for being a pearl for 4 months. Really do appreciate the monthly support. Kelly, thank you so much for all your contribution. And Bryn, 2 months, thank you so much for your contribution. Really do appreciate that. And of course, you can always become a pearl. It's never required, but appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Anyone have the? It's John Q C U E, I believe it is. Hope so, dispatch. Hope so. It stays quiet. Yeah, it was a really good live last. Yeah, it's John Q, and his wife has a channel as well, and she has an equally fascinating voice herself. Love her voice as well, and just the epitome of a classy couple. Really classy. Oh, that's good, Chair. He had a he. I really enjoyed um, the people that was on the panel last night that didn't really know a lot about it, that didn't constantly hear what we hear, right? And to get, and we really, there were some really good points there last night. Can you hear my fan? Is it too loud? Is it too loud? I can turn it down a little bit. I got the air blast, and thank God it's not as hot today here, but it has been. Hello, Mama Bear. I watched most of the live this morning getting ready for work. Oh, great, great. Thank you so much. John did mapping for summer. He did a great job in the summer Moon Utah Wells case. Him and Miss Q did Hearts of Gold. Really, truly classy people. 107 here. I'm not complaining, Ventar. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. 107. Holy Lord. That's crazy. You don't hear a fan? I kind of turned it down a little bit, so hopefully it won't be as loud. So I've taken, we've done some classes over my time here on YouTube, some profiling type classes, statement analysis type classes. I don't claim to be any of those, but I do. I will say I learned a lot during those classes, and one of the things that we have learned is to slow it down, which we do that a lot, to understand what they are really saying, because sometimes we're constantly we're waiting for the next word, right? We're waiting for the next word rather than slowing it down and taking it really word by word and analyzing that. Another thing that I've learned is if like two or more are in a conversation with each other or a reporter, to take you can still hear the audio of both people speaking, but put the I guess for lack of a better word, the camera or the frame on the person that they are speaking to or speaking about, and watch their response. And that's what we're going to do today. This is the first time that I've done it like this. So I will get better at it. And I really rushed through this. So I did the best I could. Like, it's a bitch to edit, and I'm not an editor. I can, but it generally, like, if you're actually editing a video, it generally takes about 20 to 30 minutes for each minute of content you watch. It is a lot. And hey, Chloe, good to see you. So glad you're back. Good to see you. And we're going to do this, and I didn't even get all of the interview done, but what we're going to do is it's kind of a new study session that we're going to be doing, and it is only with the interviews that Katie and Chris have done via video with their face showing. Now, for instance, we can't do, for instance, their first interview that was with Duchess discussion, because their face wasn't showing. So we can only do that with, voice statement analysis. What we're looking here is more of the physical reaction to what the other person is saying. So I probably shouldn't have done this one first, but once I got in the middle of it, I was like, oh, well, we have to do it anyways. I really should have done probably Olivia's first, because that one, in my opinion, there's a lot more there. But we'll start out with this one, which is the first news interview that they did, and that is with WSMV, and this was actually their second interview. I don't understand why. Pardon me. Was it their second? No, it was their first interview. It was their first interview because they showed their face, I believe, in the first interview through the news, is what I'm saying, through the news. And then the second interview, they showed their hands only, which I never really understood. So we'll talk about that. Oh, that's sweet, Linda. That's sweet. Give your granddaughter a hello for me, please. If there is any birthdays today, let me know, and we'll speak about that. So we're going to go over the first interview that they did, and it may not. We're looking more for, again, the physical reaction, not so much. I mean, we can tie it in with the statement analysis, but their physical reaction. And what I have done is, so for instance, if Katie is talking on this interview, we will be looking at Chris's reaction, right? His physical reaction to what Katie is saying. Then it will show Katie, saying what she just said. Does that make sense? You'll get the hang of it pretty quickly once you see it here. Um, so at first it's um, I had a horrible time with a screen recorder. I got a new computer recently, and I don't have my old screen recorder, and all of them was like trying to charge a ridiculous amount. And I have a screen recorder with a software that I use, but I can't remember which email I used it under. So I digress on that. I'm not going to pay for that software again when I've already paid for it. So we'll figure it out. So I had to go through like 3 different softwares. All right. We'll actually hear it first, but give me 1 second. It's a little low.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless.
Okay. So right here is where you're going to see Chris speaking. And we're going to be watching Katie's reaction to what Chris is saying. This is him on the other side saying whatever he or she is saying, and then we're watching Katie's reaction based upon what she is saying. Okay? And this can be very interesting because whenever we're watching an interview with multiple people, you're not really watching both of them at the same time. See, I can do phone, but I don't need to record the whole screen. Looking beyond, I don't need to record the whole screen. I just need to record certain parts of the screen. And then if you do, even if I could, it takes forever to upload it on a phone and all of that. So here we go. I really should have done Olivia's first, but just to show you guys but I just didn't have time today. I apologize. But here we go.
And hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
So this is Chris is saying it's not going to stop, meaning all of this until, thank you guys, until he walks through the door. And here you don't really see, in my opinion, a lot of emotion. It's pretty.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Not anyone. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Then we're going to watch Chris's reaction, and then we'll watch Katie say it individually. To me, and I'm really trying not to be, because there's parts in this interview where I see that Katie could be a good mom. And to be honest with you, I think something changed whenever she got with Chris. Because I really think Katie wanted to be the absolute opposite of what she grew up in my opinion, and really strived to, break free out of poverty that she sounded like she grew up in, a family that are alleged criminals and all of that. But I also think sometimes we can put up with or accept or not even understand who we are with until you're way deep down in the hole, right? So that's not an excuse for Katie, because Katie has a child and you're supposed to protect your children at all costs. But I think some of that perhaps generational thing that happened maybe in Katie's past that she tried to break free from, she also didn't.
Not anymore.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna
Always.
come home.
He's going to walk through that door. Oh, yeah.
He's gonna
Always.
come home.
He's going to walk through that door. And the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him and waiting to hug and love him. And
Now, you would think, in my opinion, right here, where Chris is saying, the street's going to be flooded and all of that, that there would be maybe some hope in there, but I don't feel like there's a lot of hope right there. Yes. Yep. And there's the laugh as well.
and the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home. That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
The question is, why? I think Sebastian wanted friends more than anything in the world, right? More than anything in the world. But it doesn't sound like he was put in any activities inside or outside of school that could help him make friends outside of school. I mean, when you're in school, sometimes you have your school friends, right? And then you may have friends in your neighborhood that may go to different schools, be homeschooled, private school, and then you may have friends that do the same activities as you, whether it's karate, piano, horseback riding, anything like that. And Sebastian, they say, wasn't an outdoor person, and they actually say it in this interview. But there is so many activities, even if your kid's not an outdoor person, that you can do. And I think the disparaging Sebastian, which is, in my opinion, what they constantly did. That's exactly right, Sally. No neighborhood friends. Neighbor claimed they hardly knew them for a while. But another thing that was interesting to me is they say Sebastian wasn't an outdoor person, but one of his favorite things was playgrounds. Well, I mean, there's indoor playgrounds, yeah, but when we think of a playground, we think of outside, right? So, I mean, did he get to go that often. I mean, could he have had you know, play dates or whatever? I feel like, you know, that, you know, they constantly say that Sebastian was, you know, too much for, you know, other kids. Like if he was on something, if he liked something, he thought everyone should like it 24/7. And he, you know, they're making it seem like that was too much for other, you know, friends of his or whatever. And that's just who Sebastian is. And if it becomes too much, it doesn't mean they're not friends anymore, right? um I think it was more of an issue, in my opinion, for Chris and Katie than it was for Sebastian and the playmate, you know, whoever the friend was, or, you know, playmate or whoever. Diane, thank you so much. Fishing and his dad and grandmother. Yes, yeah. Seth said that he took him fishing quite a bit. But I don't think the issue was ever Sebastian, because kids are kids. Kids are kids. And they're, as individuals, we're all different. Every one of us are different. But I think the issue was Chris and Katie. Is there any evidence that he's autistic? I mean, he was supposedly diagnosed just a few months prior to him going missing.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through. We've got so many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us through that night.
Okay, watch this.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend.
Just walk us through that night.
Watch Chris's eyes. You see him moving? Start moving right toward her. He's, when you're looking down and looking over, it's a physical manifestation to, you're looking to what they're saying, right? And he does this a lot. Every time Katie speaks, in every interview that is on video, he does this. He is wanting to really listen, but the physical manifestation, your eyes go that way. It's subconscious.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend.
Watching, nodding.
Home. Everything
There's the
was
head.
pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did.
There's the laugh. There's the dupers, the light laugh.
He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
Okay. Now, watch.
So
we were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend.
Now we're going to Katie.
We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
There was something, the laugh has been, you know, did something go across her mind? Was it a nervous laugh? What do you guys think that laugh was? Or was it anything?
Say goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
So, in your mind, that's usually around what time? So when do you normally wake up? Around 6 o'clock?
6.
So, were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may just be already in the shower, in the living room?
I took a second and walked.
Okay, watch Chris, because the moment that they talk about that morning, you can just see it in Chris, in my opinion. You can see it. Especially when she's talking about taking that ride. There wasn't a cough in this one, right? She seems more, in my opinion, she seems a lot more controlled. Trishy, thank you so very much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. As a mom who has lost a kid over cancer within the journey, worry and fear, Katie's emotions in these early interviews seem to reflect a grief, loss, rather than fear and worry. Looks like she has no hope early on in. And first of all, Trishy, I am so sorry about God. I can't even say it, of a child. I don't know how these parents do it. Sorry. And it does, in my opinion, seem much more like there's a loss. When it seems, in my opinion, whenever someone is lost, like their child is missing, it's a panic, right? It's a panic, but it also has energy, if that makes sense. It's a panic, it's a cry, but it is, I gotta find him. What do I need to do? I gotta find him. Right? And in my opinion, it's not there with Katie, that I gotta find him. And I really think about parents who they may have wrong decisions. They may have unalived their kid in a moment of accident, rage, whatever. But then they lose their kid. And they are still grieving, right? They are still grieving. But they also have to, in my opinion, act and present to the world what they, they're not being truthful, right? So they have to act and present to the world like they don't know where their child is. And they also have to keep from getting caught, right? 1 second. Yes, keep up appearances. That's well said, Simone. So there's that. Truth Sleuth, thank you so much, Mike. When CP looked at KP, she withdraws at first. It looks like to me that she closes a door to her heart and mind as a defense mechanism that is learned from an early age. It's a survival technique, and she does it now to give her time to navigate CP's cues. Yes. Because, I mean, not only is your kid gone potentially, I'm not saying this in so much because, we don't know what happened to Sebastian. I'm talking in general here. But not only is your kid gone, but you have to really keep up that appearance. You're trying to stay out of jail. And your kid is out there wherever they are. It's really sad. Really sad. All right, let's see this.
Through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
All right, watch this. Hold on.
In the living room.
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes.
He's doing it very lightly, but it's like, yeah, that's what she did. You weren't there.
In the living room.
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
See his posture change? Oh, the giggle already happened. But you see, it's always right here. When she says he's not in the house. Before is whenever he coughs. When she says she gets in the car and goes over to the school. Watch his body posture here. After the call, when he starts being involved in the call. Remember, on Olivia's, right here is where it starts, in my opinion, the story starts to mess up. Deep breath and raising of shoulders. Yes. Watch. See the difference? What? See the difference? Look, he's like this. He starts, and it's always right here. Why? I couldn't tell you.
And give or take, I was on about 3 minutes in, give or take. I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
Here we go.
He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Did you hear the deep breath? he took? You can actually hear it.
I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
There he goes.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
Now, there's that give or take, and then it's like a giggle. A giggle. Give or take. There's nothing that I could think right there that would be funny. Nothing. You're looking for your son.
3 minutes in, give or take.
Now it's 3 minutes in, and then it was a minute flat.
I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
I believe they can't find him. Can't find him. Said I can't find him. I don't believe, in my opinion, that happened. I don't believe it. You don't say that like that. I can't find him. I say I can't find him.
He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
I don't believe that either. Yeah, and it's not that I can't find Sebastian. It's I can't find him. He's not in the house. She's not using his name either. Can't find him. What do you mean you can't find him? He's not in the house. I can't find Sebastian. Sebastian's nowhere in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well.
The other side of the bed. Is the bed placed a certain way? Did they have the bed in some unusual way? Is he on the other side of the bed? I picked that up. She is avoiding his name. Yes. Yes. When you add someone's name, then it becomes personal. Right? And this should be very personal. Very, very personal. It's your son.
Hold on a minute, and immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report. While we
What
were
did
on
he say there? I want to see.
So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute, and immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department.
Immediately after that, they called the sheriff's department. Now, we were talking yesterday that the call, she called Chris at 6:03, and some people are saying 6:22, or some people are saying 6:33, that the non-911 call was called. Okay. Then that's not immediately calling. I mean, if Katie was so, in 1 to 3 minutes, give or take, she says, she, looked through all the entire house, in the closets and everything, like she says. Well, this was She immediately called Chris. Well, then why is it taking 20, 30 minutes to call law enforcement? Is he on the other side of the bed? We slipped right through there. How did she didn't look on her side, but he said we in self-edited super fast. Let me look at that. I might have missed that.
3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
I need to edit.
Or in the living room?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Watch the eyes.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like,
Through your mind.
while we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the while we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he made. I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? While we were on the
When you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
while we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made a report.
Okay.
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
Okay. All over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet. Okay.
Immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
Okay. All over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet. All over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go. In minutes, they were.
Here we go. Here we go. I believe that is when reality really set in, just like I think it did with Don Wells whenever he went to the building first and didn't go up to his home where the police are. He was coming from the opposite direction, so his driveway was first, and then you go on down and there's another building, and he couldn't have seen that. And his kids were down there, and Jody Sue was down there, and I think that is when he thought that's when reality set in. Here we go. Just like I think when he just said, here we go.
Here we go. In minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and
within 10 minutes, they were here. 10 minutes, they were here. Well, if they called at 6:33 and they didn't show up until 7. I found some new stuff on that, by the way. Try to remind me to bring that up. I'll try to see if I can find that real quick on Melissa. That would be more than 10 minutes. Yes. Exactly.
Here we go.
So you said you were on the phone with her, so you were not home.
No, ma'am.
Watch this.
I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator.
Watch
And I was
Katie.
working in Memphis at the St. Jude project. So it's, you know, I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, I was like, what? I was confused. We talked about where he could possibly be, and then we went from there and led to calling the cops, and here we are now.
So you said you were on the phone with her, so you were not home.
No, ma'am. Okay. I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator, and I was working in
Scratching his arm. It's uncomfortableness when you're wiggling or scratching, right? Many people will scratch their head or right their ear when they're lying specifically. They'll, itch, right? But the question is, if you are at work, she called you at 6:03. You could not have been in the crane at 6:03, in my opinion. At 6:03, he is saying that he is confused because he's got one ear end piece here. Oh, good popcorn. Thank you. One earpiece in here, one in here. And what's he doing? He says he's confused. Well, I'm confused too, because it's 6:03 in the morning. People said you didn't show up until 7. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not even sure of that, to be quite honest with you, because I have still never seen anyone, a human being with a face, come out and say that he was there. I've seen this profile. Okay, Teresa, that said that he was at work at 7 a.m. There, I don't know which PI it was or whatever, allegedly said he was there at 5:15. But if I don't got receipts, I can't count it. And regardless, if he was there at 5:15, why would you be there at 5:15? That would mean you had only had 3.5 hours of sleep. Trust me, he's got to have more than 3.5 hours of sleep working that crane. And if you clock in at 7, you're not in the crane at 6:03 in the morning. Seth was notified before law enforcement based on times of notification. Seth was notified before law enforcement based. What do you mean by that? And hold on, I don't got my phone pulled up. Let me pull it up 1 second so I can look at this. So that is, in my opinion, that's the problem either way. CP says he's in the crane at 5:30 a.m. CP calls. KP calls CP at 6:02 while he is in the crane talking with dispatch. CP says he made a three-way call and the sheriff at 6:22 a.m. Sheriff sent call to 911 dispatch at 10 or 6:33 a.m. Sheriff arrives 10 minutes later at 6:43 a.m. So is that actual times, True Sleuth? Melissa said on her, or is that what they're saying? Melissa and her Facebook post said Miss Socks was already at the house at 6:30. Yes, I've got that one. Law enforcement says there were 4 people at KP's home when they arrived at 7:04. Lots of holes here. Yeah. So Chris, now I don't. To be fair in this Truth Sleuth, I don't think Chris has ever publicly stated that he was there at 5:30. I don't think he's ever given a time at all, has he? He just says he was at work that morning. Okay, Titch, I'll look at that. I don't recall him ever saying a time. I doubted that he would say a time. Was the sun even up at 5:30 that morning? You can't operate a crane. I mean, you can operate. I mean, I think you can operate the cranes at night, because they have so many lights there. But I don't think that they're overnight. Really? I don't think he did. I mean, I may be wrong, but that's interesting. Katie says she calls Chris at 6:02 while he is in the crane talking with dispatch. Chris says he made a 3-way call with Katie in sheriff's at 6:22. So it takes Katie only 2 minutes to call Chris after she searches the house, allegedly, looks at the closets, through the closets, and looks out the window. But it takes them 20 minutes to call the non-emergency number. And the sheriff sent call to 911 dispatch, which is where it had to go in the first place, Chris. It still has to be 911. You'd call the non-emergency line just like Don and Candace did. Guess what? They're going to transfer you to dispatch. It has to go through that every single time. It did not save you anything at all. Sheriff sends call to 911 dispatch at 6:33. He says the sheriff arrives 10 minutes later. That would make it 6:43. But they actually didn't show up till 7:04. And Chris's sister and them says they were searching since 6:30 that morning. So that is a problemo, if you ask me. Someone just sent me something. I reside in Carter County, Tennessee. What? 1 second, guys. I got some important email. There has been an elderly gentleman in his vehicle. Okay. Okay. I'll go over that. Okay. So that's a lot of sketch.
Memphis at the St. Jude Project. So it's, you know, I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, I was like, what? I was confused. We talked about where he could possibly be. And then we went from there and led to calling the cops. And here we are now.
So Chris would have had to have been clocked in at 6:02, 6:03. He would have had to have been clocked in if he's up in the crane, one ear here, one ear here, and both are talking at the same time, right? And in my opinion, I think something is off here. And in my opinion, that is the reason his job was up in the air. Something stinks, in my opinion. Something stinks, in my opinion. Because if his timesheet and he is not seen clocked in on the job site in the crane at 6:02 or 6:03, that's a pun. That's a good pun, actually. If he's not seen on camera, if he's not seen in his crane, then that's a problem. A big problem. Big old problem. Um, Justin, you missed mine and T Niece's comment. T Niece made a brilliant point that Chris says he called law enforcement immediately, yet they were called at 6:33 and Seth at 6:22. Another lie. So he called Seth before law enforcement. Okay. At 6:22 is when, is Seth in here right now? Because the three-way call to the non-emergency line happened at 6:22. He called law enforcement before he spoke to Seth. What time did Seth ever say what time his call happened? He says in the interview you're viewing, go back, Justin. Seth said 6:22. is when he got a missed call and text message. 6:33 was law enforcement. All the metadata from all the checked, in my opinion, the companies. Yes, boo. That's awesome, Candace. That's amazing. Thank God. Job site did not open till 6:45 at the earliest. There is no way his ass was in a crane. I agree, Mohawk. I agree. Mohawk, what time did Seth say he got a phone call? Mohawk's got a memory of. Yes, Seth has surgery tomorrow. Keep him in your prayers. Okay. So that means he would have had to have called Seth before he called law enforcement. Something's wrong here. Something is really wrong here. Really, really, really wrong. Katie should have called Seth before Chris. Yeah, I mean, I agree she should have called, but I don't really. I agree she should have called Seth first. For sure. But something is really, really wrong here. Speak to Seth until he called back at 7:20. Yes. Yeah, he didn't actually speak to him until 7:20, until after he got off. But something is really wrong. They had the emergency phone number on Seth's work and did not call it. Correct. Seth didn't get him his phone to 7:20. Right. Very, very wrong. Which that makes me actually wonder if the Bowerfoots was actually at that store that morning now. Because in my opinion, it seems like things were starting before 6 o'clock, actually. That's really bad.
Within minutes, they're there at the home.
Yes, ma'am.
Within minutes, they're there at the home.
Yes, ma'am.
It was rapid fire. They had cars.
They
Rapid fire. They had cars.
They
They had
lined
cars from here down to the
to the main
road, as far as I could tell. They had cars from
Now
here
they're
down
going to mirror their self
The
here.
main
road, as far as
At the home.
They mirror their self on up here like this, but they both. This is very important. I don't think anyone's caught this. They had cars on and up, down the road here. Now, they may have had cars later on in the evening up and down the road there too. But we're talking about when things first happened. And she's like, they had cars up and down the road. And Chris uses his arm too. Like he's showing you they're mirroring each other. And then Katie mirrors him as well.
Yes, ma'am.
it was rapid fire. They had cars.
They
Rapid fire. They had cars.
They
They had
lied
cars from here down to the
to the main road.
road, as far as I could tell. They had cars from here down to the
Watch it.
To the main road.
road, as far as I could tell. They had cars from here down to the
main road.
road, as far as I could tell.
So, what's going through both of your minds? I mean, are we panicking? Is
Had cars up and down the road as far as I could tell. Right? Talking about the morning of. The morning of. Said he didn't get his message until around 7:20ish. When he got it. Yeah. But as far as court, no cases, no cases. Reverse C. Definitely.
it this? Oh, I think he's probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before. And he's not.
I think he's probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before.
Joyce is not a runner. Now, that may mean not an eloper, but later on in this interview, she says he loves to run. Put the timeline together, Justin, from KP waking up to going to Sebastian's room to wake him up. What's this?
I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
So, what's going through both?
Watch Chris. He looks at her. Do you believe it?
So, what's going through?
He walked out that door.
Ma'am, do you believe it? Do you?
So, what's going through both of your minds? I mean, are we panicking? Is it this? Oh, I think he's probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers right now that we are searching for desperately. And we just don't have that.
Is there?
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers that have no answers. But there's answers to questions that have no answers.
There's answers to questions with no answers.
But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers right now that
I think you had it right the first time.
we are searching for desperately, and we just don't have that.
Is there anything that happened that day that you think back and there might have been a reason he was possibly upset, or something outside that could have enticed him to go outside? Was there anything that came to mind?
We've been coming over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood.
See his head shake?
Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood.
Everyone around that day says we were in a good mood. You were 3.5 hours. You were actually supposed to be in a different state, Mississippi, Chris. Why are you nodding your head?
misbehaving. Coming over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out.
The days and the weeks before. The days, even the weeks before. Trying to figure out what could have made Sebastian walk out that door. I don't know why he walked out that door, Katie says. Well, there's no evidence that he did walk out that door. The only thing there is evidence of is that a child disappeared from that home. That is the only evidence, is there is a missing child. There is no evidence that he walked out, jumped out, drove out that home at any time. The only evidence that we see on camera of 12 10 and a half crucial hours is Katie and allegedly, which we don't have evidence, we just know that someone drove into the driveway. We do have evidence of Sebastian and Katie leaving the steakhouse, and a few short minutes later, Katie's vehicle arriving at the home. I would highly assume, in my opinion, that they both made it to the house, in my opinion. To me, it would have taken longer than 10 minutes to do something with Sebastian and her drive home, park in the garage, and then a little bit later take out the trash. I do believe Sebastian made it home. I absolutely do believe Sebastian made it home. My opinion only. And then someone taking out the trash. But from the time they arrived home to the time Katie left that morning, driving towards the school, there is no other car that came to their house, left from their house, but there is a vehicle, an unknown vehicle, that was close to their house. Someone said on social media that car was Chris's mom. What car, Emma? There is evidence that there was a car close to their house. I don't know who it was, but there is a car that was close to their house. There, in my opinion, is evidence that an individual or individuals were walking in the common area of the homes, there is evidence of a vehicle backing out and leaving the neighborhood. There is evidence, in my opinion, of someone walking back towards a home. Which home, I don't know. But there's no evidence of Sebastian leaving. There is no scent. No. And if someone says that is Chris's mom's car, they're lying. They're lying because none of us know. We have to be the only, I can say I know it's this car, I know it's that car, but the truth is I can have an opinion on what car it could be, even though none of us can see it. We can see some headlights, but if you want to find Sebastian, you have to have the right answers. And at this point, we don't have the answers of what kind of vehicle it is. Now, the cops may not even know what vehicle it is at this point. I think that they do. I do believe that they do know what vehicle it is. But, I just was reading or listening to the Brian Koberger book that has just came out. I told you guys about it the other day. And they had a hell of a time finding out what kind of car that was. And it had a lot better video quality compared to what you and I see with this car that is, or truck or vehicle rather, that is close to the Proudfoot home. Now, the good thing is there is right there on that corner another house that would show that vehicle probably in its entirety. That was and is a much better quality camera, but they will not, and when I say not, they will not speak to anyone. They won't even speak to the neighbors. This home will not even speak to the neighbors. Law enforcement has that, but they will not speak to anybody. A home right there that is close to the corner, but it is on Kellen Drive. They will not speak to anybody. Anyone. And I believe that they have footage of the vehicle, whatever the vehicle was. I think it's for multiple reasons that they will not speak. But they won't. Okay, thank you, Truth Sleuth. See that. I'll look. We'll go over that in just a minute. Carla, they have, and the house there on the corner that we see the flashlight videos. This flashlight video was never to get out, never to get out. But in the beginning, the homeowner gave their thought to be best friend that, and they were trying to figure, things out. And she thought her friend would never give it to anybody. And she did. She gave it to, at minimum, allegedly, Nick, and that is why they asked, and Nick said they wanted to know where I got the video from, and Nick said, I don't disclose my sources, because the police, in my opinion, knew that the homeowner did not give this to Nick. So it had to come from another party. That's why they were kind of perplexed on how Nick got it. It was a friend.
He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving.
And absolutely, like, and let me tell you something. If someone gives me something, you will take the fall before you ever tell your sources. If you give up your source, it is over for you. It's over for you. You will never, no one will ever give you anything else again. That is why, and you don't have to. By law, you don't have to give your sources. But regardless, either way, you never, ever give your sources. And I mean ever.
More sense if we'd been fighting. Make more sense if we'd been fighting.
Watch
Or
this.
he's been in trouble, but he hasn't been.
Was laughing, been able to figure it out. He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving.
Watch her.
That morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was.
That morning he was laughing, he was joking. It would have been.
Even the weeks before he left, and
She's telling you no.
I hadn't been able to figure it out.
Okay.
He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving.
He was behaving.
Make more sense if we'd been fighting. Make more sense if we'd been fighting.
Or he's been in trouble, but he hasn't been in trouble. So, I mean,
Watch Chris.
the $1 million question, why did he go? And the other $1 million question is how.
The $1 million question, why did he go and how? What do you mean, how? You said he walked out the door. How? How? You said he walked out the front door. The $1 million question, why? And the other $1 million question, how? You said he walked out the door barefooted, took a flashlight. So that would be how. What do you mean? How? Doesn't sit right. That's the $1 million question. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? That's everyone we were around is nothing but Chris's family. And he was behaving. He wasn't acting up or anything. That's something they always say.
Or he'd been in trouble, but he hadn't been in trouble. Why did he go? And the other $1 million question is how. Or he'd been in trouble, but he hadn't been in trouble. So, I mean, the $1 million question, why did he go? And the other $1 million question is how.
What about social media? Was there anything that, anyone he could have contacted? I understand he was somewhat of a gamer, or what was he? There was a video game he loved, right?
Minecraft. He loves Minecraft. The game that he has.
Yeah, Chris indicated, well, not in this interview, but they did say that is the only door that he could have walked out was the front door. But not in this interview. They just said, I don't know. She just said, I don't know why he walked out that door.
Is not online. He has
that door.
The Switch. Minecraft. He loves Minecraft. The game that he has is not online. He has the Switch.
We don't, because of how social media can be, he doesn't have accessibility to communicate with folks on the internet. I mean, we have a firm belief that we just don't feel that right now he's capable of having that kind of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, his phone is locked down, his computers, his gaming. He doesn't have a gamer tag. He doesn't have online capabilities with games. We don't, because of how social media can be, he doesn't have accessibility to communicate with folks on the internet. I mean, we have a firm belief that we just don't feel that right now he's capable of having that kind of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, his phone is locked down, his computers, his gaming. He doesn't have a gamer tag. He doesn't have online capabilities with games.
We've combed every electronic. We've combed every electronic.
I mean, we've cooperated with all the authorities as far as anything they've asked us to provide, we've provided.
Nobody asked him if they were cooperating or anything in this. He wants to let you know that he is cooperating. And to be fair, law enforcement said they were cooperating.
Still just don't have any answers. I mean, we've cooperated with all the authorities as far as anything they've asked us to provide, we've provided, and still just don't have any answers.
Did he have any friends that could have possibly contacted him in some way on his phone?
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
Did he have any friends that could have possibly contacted him in some way on his phone?
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
With this big question mark. He's vanished. And no one can figure out where or why. All right. So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very much. Yes, ma'am. Very much. Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the two of them and the four of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy, and I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row. It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly.
I don't believe Katie, in my opinion, when she says relatively good, the way she says it. Watch her. I don't believe it. Watch this.
Relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
In two different households, and the communication between the three of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily. In two different households, and the communication between the three of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily.
Let's talk about Sebastian. Tell me about Sebastian. How would you describe him?
Sweet, stubborn.
Sweet, stubborn. Okay.
He loves to help. He loves running, and he loves to play his games and his fidgets and Uno. Lord, that's one of his favorite games right now. Favorite color is green.
Does he love music?
Sweet, stubborn. He loves to help. He loves running, and he loves to play his games and his fidgets and Uno. Lord, that's one of his favorite games right now. Favorite color is green.
Does he love music?
Oh God, he loves music.
An eclectic taste.
I mean,
An eclectic. I mean, from as everybody knows, Eye of the Tiger to Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got Pearl Jam on one hand, we've got Survivor on the other over here, we've got Taylor Swift, and
oh God, he loves music.
an eclectic taste.
I
An
mean,
eclectic. I mean, from as everybody knows, Eye of the Tiger to Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got Pearl Jam on one hand, we've got Survivor on the other over here, we've got Taylor Swift, and
he's got a big crush on her. He's got a big.
See the difference in the looseness, how they are speaking about what he likes. Eye of the Tiger to Pearl Jam. See, they're loose, right? Loose. But when it comes to the real serious topics, it is stiffen up, right? Constantly looking over. You can tell when someone is being authentic.
Crush on her. I mean, country, rock,
no
classic.
hip hop. We don't allow the hip hop.
Well, he doesn't really get into it anyways. I mean, country, rock,
no
classic.
Hip hop. We don't allow the hip hop.
Well, he doesn't really get into it anyways.
You mentioned he loved running. So did he love the outdoors at all? I mean, would something outside that was somewhat outdoorsy be enticing to him or pull him outdoors?
The Hip Hop Anonymous.
Like when we were in California and the school had this lap thing to gain money. It was a fundraiser. And every year he was I did this many laps. I did this many laps. I mean, I've got T-shirts where they would write on his back every time the kids went around. They'd mark a mark on the back, and they'd keep running. And he just had marks all the way across his back. He likes playgrounds. He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
Yeah, he's not.
He loves, like, when we were in California and the school had this lap thing to gain money. It was a fundraiser. And every year he was, I did this many laps. I did this many laps. I mean, I've got T-shirts where they would write on his back every time the kids went around. They'd mark a mark on the back, and they'd keep running. And he just had marks all the way across his back. He likes playgrounds. He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
Hates
Yeah,
being dirty.
He's not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves it.
He's not
Being dirty, not your tomboy style.
not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
even a fly, and he's like,
And
animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh yeah.
wow. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
even a fly, and he's like,
And 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 let's talk too, because he's highly functioning. I know you all have described him as having a form of autism,
he does.
but describe that to our viewers too, as far as his way of thinking of things and maybe how determined he was about certain things, or his mindset.
But no, but
He
He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this, he's got a stubborn mindset.
look at Chris. He's so fake there. Look how fake he is there. Yes.
Believes it's this.
Watch this.
He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this. He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this. He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this.
Oh, darling.
He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this.
he gets on a one-man track, and he is just on it, and he is all about it.
So
He gets on a one-man track, and he is just on it, and he is all about it.
fake. Oh my
But I mean,
God.
he's very smart.
He's
I mean,
smart.
he can play chess. He can beat adults in chess. So
Wow.
he's.
He-
But I mean, he's very smart.
he's
I mean,
smart.
he can
Yeah, I'll
play
never-
chess.
Chris.
He can beat adults in chess.
Wow.
So he's.
He loves playing games.
What
Loves
Teammates.
loves playing games.
What about navigation? Like, did he have a sense of direction? Do you think he could have possibly even hitched a ride or gotten a ride on a bus or some sort of transportation?
That is a spec.
Yeah. Stubborn mindset. Says CP. No recognition of the irony.
Speculation that we don't have an answer for. Just
I mean-
directionally, he knows he could guide you from our house to his dad's house.
Yeah.
That is a speculation that we don't have an answer for. Just
I mean-
directionally, he knows he could guide you from our house to his dad's house.
Yeah.
He could get from like this house. I think he can make it up to Culver's ice cream.
He can go.
He could get from like this house. I think he can make it up to Culver's ice cream.
He can go to Culver's.
Oh boy,
He knows where Culver's is because Culver's has malt. He loves malt, extra malt. Go to Culver's.
Oh boy,
He knows where Culver's is because Culver's has malt. He loves malt, extra.
See how true that is? You can tell she's being truthful there. He loves malt. He loves extra malt. It's fluid. It's fluid. You don't got to think about it. You wouldn't have to think real hard about what happened that morning. right? You don't have to be tiptoeing about what happened that morning. They're not tiptoeing. He likes malt. He likes extra malt. There's no tiptoeing around this.
Every time, extra malt.
Now, how far away does his dad live?
Every time, extra malt.
Now, how far away does his dad live?
Clarksville. His dad lives up by Clarksville.
So he could guide someone all the way to Clarksville.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So a pretty keen sense of direction, at least with certain things.
Familiar routes.
Yes.
Familiar routes.
Familiar
I
routes.
mean, if I took him another route going
He
this way, he
takes
would
it.
not know it.
He familiar routes.
Yes.
Familiar routes.
Familiar routes.
I mean, if I took him another route going
He
this way, he
takes
would
it.
not know it.
He
He
shake,
goes up
bake,
there
and
so
I
often that he knows how to get to his daddies. We know that. Goes up there so often that he knows how to get to his daddies. We know that.
His dad works with him as far as, well, we're going this way, we're going that way, and
Mhm.
keeps the same thing, and it works out. So his dad works with him as far as, well, we're going this way, we're going that way, and keeps the same thing, and it works out. So
Let's talk too, because earlier, Chris, you and I were talking, and you were saying that there are a lot of people who are harassing both of you.
So her and Chris were talking, I guess, prior to this interview, and he's talking about himself. I'll have to. I forget.
Of any of that
It's not
do you
too.
want to address? What do you want to say to any of these people?
Just that you don't know. And I don't wish you to ever know. Just that you don't know. And I don't wish you to ever know.
I would say it like this: everybody has an opinion, and it's perfectly okay to have that opinion, but you're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts. If they have questions,
Assume what they know. You mean assume what they think they may know?
all they have to do is ask.
What you know.
And I pray.
I would say it like this: everybody has an opinion, and it's perfectly okay to have that opinion, but you're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts. If they have questions, all they have to do is ask.
And I pray genuinely that no one ever goes through this. Genuinely that no one ever goes through this.
Just be kind to people. I mean, it's real simple.
Be kind to Sebastian.
Just be kind to people. I mean, it's real simple.
There are some people who have been talking, because I know this is part of the harassment. Is there anything you want to address about this child custody situation? The previous.
So I have a current case that is ongoing in another state. We've requested that case to be sealed because there are some individuals who have taken it upon themselves to put stuff out there that they don't quite know, which all they have to do is ask, I'll tell you. But because of that, it has nothing to do with our son. It has nothing to do with the situation. People would.
Yeah, throws his animals out, gets rid of his animals, throws his stuff
So
out.
I have
anything.
a current
It's
case
so nice.
that is ongoing in another state. We've requested that case to be sealed because there are some individuals who have taken upon themselves to put stuff out there that they don't quite know, which all they have to do is ask, I'll tell you. But because of that, you know, it has nothing to do with our son. It has nothing to do with the situation. You know, I just, people would.
All right, guys, that's all of it that I've got done there so far, just in time. John Q is going live in about 5 minutes from now. I'll see you guys over there. Please join us. You will love John's lives. Very good, thought-provoking, to say the least. Can mods drop John's link in chat? See if I've got it here somewhere, maybe. Hold on, I got it. All right, here's John's. He's already got 10,200. He's gotten 200 more subs since last night. All right, guys, I'll see y'all over there. Love you all. I may be back here in a little bit later this evening. We'll see. Just depends. Maybe on my other channel. Make sure you're subbed up to my other channel, Hey Sweet Tea. Hey, sweetie. HEYSWEETTEA. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Love and appreciate you all. See you guys in a little bit. I'll see you guys over there now.